One, letting go to gain true influence. We often believe that the way to create influence or impact is to try harder, speak more, show more, prove more. But the reality is far more subtle. Real influence begins the moment we stop trying to control how others see us and focus instead on being deeply anchored in who we are. When we constantly push for approval or recognition, we unknowingly place our worth in someone else's hands. Every reaction, every glance, every word from them begins to shape how we feel about ourselves. Over time, this can leave us dependent on responses we cannot control. Letting go of that need is not about becoming distant or uncaring. It's about returning your sense of value to where it belongs, within yourself. People are naturally drawn to those who are steady and self-assured. This doesn't mean you never express emotion or never care about others. It means your sense of stability is not easily shaken by outside opinion. In moments where most would chase reassurance, you remain calm. In situations where many would over-explain, you choose quiet confidence. This kind of presence has an effect. On people, without trying to impress, you make an impression. Without competing for attention, you receive it naturally. It's not because you are holding back. It's because you are already whole. The paradox is simple. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you create space for authentic connection. Influence that comes from self-possession is steady, lasting, and grounded in reality. You are not asking others to define your worth. You are showing them what it looks like to stand in it. And that, more than anything else, is what draws people in genuinely and without force. To value from within, not from others, it's natural to feel good when someone notices your effort, praises your work, or shows they care. External validation can be uplifting, but if it becomes the foundation of your self-worth, it creates a fragile way of living. When how you feel about yourself depends on how others treat you, your sense of stability can rise and fall with every reaction or lack of response. Real confidence is built from the inside. It's the quiet knowing that you have worth regardless of who notices or acknowledges it. This doesn't mean you ignore feedback or shut out others. It means your core identity remains steady, whether the outside world is warm or cold. When you look to others to measure your value, you give away something important: control over your own self-image. You might find yourself overanalyzing messages, waiting for approval, or adjusting your behavior to win attention. In the moment, these small shifts may seem harmless, but over time, they erode your sense of authenticity. Choosing to ground your value within yourself changes the way you move through life. You no longer need constant reassurance to feel secure. You can appreciate kindness and recognition when it comes, but you're not dependent on it to feel whole. This creates a quiet strength that others sense immediately. The irony is that when you stop seeking validation, genuine respect and appreciation often follow naturally. People are drawn to those who carry themselves with steady assurance, not because they demand attention, but because they don't need it to feel complete. By knowing your worth without waiting for someone else to confirm it, you give yourself freedom, the freedom to show up as you are, without pretense or performance. 3. The strength of stillness in a fast-moving world filled with constant updates, quick replies, and endless noise. Stillness can feel unfamiliar. Many people believe they need to speak louder, act faster, or push harder to be noticed. But true presence often comes from the opposite, choosing calm over chaos, intention over impulse. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about creating space between stimulus and response. It's the ability to pause, think, and act deliberately rather than react immediately. This quiet strength stands out in a world where most are rushing to be heard. When you're calm, your words carry more weight. People listen more closely because you speak with intention. Your actions become more meaningful because they are not driven by urgency or pressure. Instead of blending into the background noise, your presence becomes something people notice without you having to demand their attention. Living with stillness doesn't mean avoiding challenges or withdrawing from life. It means meeting situations with balance. It's about not letting external circumstances pull you into emotional extremes. Whether you're in a meeting, a conversation, or a difficult situation, your grounded energy brings clarity and stability to the moment. This steadiness influences the way others experience you. They begin to associate you with reliability, trust, and thoughtfulness. Over time, this kind of presence builds deeper respect than constant activity ever could. Stillness is a choice, a decision to value quality over speed, clarity over noise, and depth over distraction. It's not about being silent. It's about making your words and actions count. In a world that is always moving, the ability to remain steady is one of the most powerful forms of influence you can have. For let actions speak louder than words, many people spend a lot of energy explaining what they plan to do, why they're capable, or how much they care. Words can inspire, but they are only the beginning. It's action that truly communicates who we are and what we value. When you consistently follow through on what you say, trust naturally grows. You don't need to convince people with elaborate promises or persuasive speeches. They notice the choices you make, the work you put in, and the consistency you maintain. This creates a foundation of credibility that words alone cannot match. Taking action doesn't always mean making grand gestures. Often, it's the quiet, repeated steps that carry the most weight: showing up on time, meeting commitments, delivering quality work, or simply being reliable. Over time, these habits build a strong reputation without you ever having to promote yourself. It's also important to remember that actions reveal priorities. What you spend your time and energy on shows what truly matters to you, no matter what you say. This is why being intentional with your actions is so important. They shape how others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. In the end, words fade quickly if they're not supported by consistent behavior. People might remember what you said in the moment, but they will always remember how you acted over time. Your behavior is the lasting message. By focusing less on explaining your worth and more on demonstrating it, you create impact without forcing attention. Let your actions be the steady voice that speaks for you every day, clear, honest, and impossible to ignore. 5. Consistency builds trust, is rarely built in a single moment. It grows gradually through repeated actions that align with your words. People learn to rely on you when they see the same steady behavior over time. Consistency turns promises into proof. Being consistent means showing up even when it's not convenient. It's doing what you said you would do, not just when it's easy, but also when challenges arise. Steady reliability sends a clear message you can be counted on. It's not about perfection. Everyone makes mistakes, and unexpected events happen. But when your general pattern is dependable, people will give you the benefit of the doubt. They know that one setback does not define you, because your overall track record shows commitment. Consistency also applies to how you treat others. If your respect, kindness, and fairness remain steady, people feel safe in their interactions with you. They don't have to wonder what version of you they will meet each day. The stability fosters stronger relationships and a more positive reputation. In professional settings, consistency can set you apart. While skill and talent are valuable, many people underestimate the power of being dependable. Colleagues, clients, and leaders remember those who deliver reliably because it makes their own work easier and less stressful. Ultimately, trust is the natural outcome of consistent action. You don't need to talk about how dependable you are. Your actions will speak clearly. Over time, people will come to see you as someone who keeps commitments, stands by their values, and can be relied upon in both calm and challenging times. Consistency may not be the fastest path to recognition, but it is the surest way to earn lasting trust. 6. Focus on long-term growth, not quick results, in a world that often celebrates instant success. It's easy to feel pressure to achieve results quickly, but the most meaningful achievements usually come from steady effort over time, not sudden breakthroughs. Focusing on long-term growth helps you build a stronger foundation and a more sustainable future. When you think long-term, you make decisions differently. Instead of chasing short-term wins that fade quickly, you invest in actions that will continue to benefit you months or even years from now. This might mean learning new skills, building healthy habits, or strengthening relationships. These choices might not bring instant rewards, but they create lasting value. Long-term growth also requires patience. Progress can be slow, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening, but small, consistent steps add up. Just like planting a seed, you may not see results right away, but growth is happening beneath the surface. Another advantage of focusing on the long term is resilience. Challenges and setbacks are part of any journey, but when you have a bigger vision, temporary difficulties feel less overwhelming. You understand that each step, even the difficult ones, is part of the process.